Until go time, which is just enough time for me to set up what we need to do. I've made an entire Discord to host this. Let me get that up. That would be most helpful. Streamlabs, open that folder. Thank you. Let's see how this looks at full screen. Let's see how that's doing on the stream. There we go. That's pretty good. I think that's as good as we're gonna get. Hello. Right, welcome in. I need to do the professional streaming stuff now. I'm not a professional streamer. I don't know what I'm doing. First of all, if you're new here, hi. The alerts don't work. I'm so sorry. So any new follows I get, I'm not seeing them. I'm so sorry. Probably I shall turn it down a smidge. Let me see in Streamlabs. You're right, it's too loud. I'm turning it down. Right, okay. Thank you, chat. My sound assistants. Right, let's start again. Hi, my name is Moth. I'm so great at intros. Right. So, first off, the alerts don't work. I'm so sorry for anyone that's coming in. The alerts do not work whatsoever. For anyone new here, my Twitch alerts have been broken for the longest time. Follows don't show anything. Subscribers stopped showing stuff about 2 months ago. I don't know how to fix it. I've tried everything. And let me just check my sound again. Right, there we go. So, yeah, the follows don't work. So I'm so thankful. If there are any follows, any subscribes, I can't see any of them. Like, it's so annoying. So thank you. So, yeah, thank you. It's annoying. Trying to do like yeah. The other thing is I'm sick, which is why I'm not drawing. I have the most horrible cold at the minute. I also got, in a car accident 3 days ago, so my neck's not in good shape. I need you to picture in your minds right now that one picture of dying Brian from Family Guy. I'm holding up good 200. I'm fine, thank you. It's been a bit sore at night. Sleeping's been a little bit of a challenge because I had some problems with my neck beforehand, so like getting in a car accident was really not the greatest thing for my neck, but everyone was fine. Yeah, it's like I'm dealing with the cold. I'm quite glad that the runny nose has stopped, but my tonsils are very sore. So on that subject, I need everyone to keep reminding me to drink, because the last time I did this and I had a normal voice, I still lost my voice doing these streams. So yeah, sneezing does suck. Yeah, and in the space of like 2 weeks I got engaged. Yay. Which was great. It was wonderful. and then disaster struck. This is how my life goes. Something really good happens, and the universe has to put me back in my place by throwing some other things at me. Have a drink right now. Thank you, Onyx. I have my Ribena now. Right, there we go. So, we'll get into the sort of where we're at now. So it's 1 minute past 7. Okay. So, we're doing an OC review today. And I've seen a few of these done before. And what that means is I'm not going to give you a score. I see a few people score these out of 10. I see them going, and then sort of shallowly going through them all and saying that they're all brilliant and they love everyone and stuff like that. Now, I'm going to try and be as constructive as I can. And I absolutely promise I am not going to start attacking people's OCs. And no, we're not going to be attacking anyone's OC. Everyone has different tastes. Everyone has a different brief in their head that they want their OCs to be like. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to sort of review them for the concept of which they are. And I'm going to start to try and make sure this isn't like a really long process where everyone's bored. We're going to say what we would change, what we love, and generally thoughts on that. I'm not doing a ranking system, that's just mean, you know. Now I did have to funnel through. I did not expect so many people to comment their OCs overnight, so this has been what was going to be one stream. It's going to get broken up into 4 because we have over 250 OCs to review, and if I were to try and fit 250 OCs into even just 2 streams, we would be here forever and everybody would get 1 minute of screen time and I would lose my voice and we would all be disappointed. So we're doing 4 streams. I don't know when the others are going to be yet. I'm going to try and make them at the very most once a week. At least, rather. So yeah, we've a lot to get through. And we're starting with a bit of an unusual one. This is one that I've designed. This is my own design, and yes, I'll review those too, because I am not perfect. I am not an industry standard artist. No, my fiance's here. No, you cannot touches me with fingies. You can sit and moderate instead. So we're starting with my own design. This OC belongs to my great friend Onyx, who just reminded me to drink. I'm going to take another drink. Now, because I am not perfect, there is things I would do differently even with my own designs looking back. Now, I did this design quite a while ago now, and yes, there is things I would change about it. But everyone can meet Frank. Frank the Hippogriff. The brief I was given was Pegasi Hippogriff hybrid, and they wanted it to be very, very bird-like. In fact, I was given a very specific... No distracting me. I was given a very specific bird to work from, which was, I believe, a Pam cockatoo. And Frank is a drag queen, and the specifics were cockatoo, and they wanted a sort of a bird bracelet, which is what that is on the back leg there. That is a bird ID thing that you would see on actual birds that we keep as pets as humans. So I did a couple of things with this. Instead of doing an outright beak, I actually sort of made a muzzle beak thing, a little bit like the hippogriffs in the show, not quite as prominent as them. But if I were to redo this design now, I would do a couple of things different. So I would actually, let me think here. I had this all in my head, what I was going to say about this one, because it's my own design and it's gone out of my head. But yeah, what I think I would start with is I would I'm just going to take this base design here, this one. I would add the red in more place than one. I think I would keep what I did with the body color the same. The bird I was given was entirely jet black, which is really hard to see in a character design. I try to avoid jet black as much as I can without like completely, you know, erasing darker colors from my palette. Jet black can be really, yeah, when you're across styles, when you're trying to shade jet black, what do you shade it with, you know? You can't. The bird was like about the color of the eyebrow, you know? So I tried to lighten this color, but I think I would make this darker still. So I think I would darken this color a bit. I would add some more red, probably another bit of red in the top, and I think I would make the eyes pop a bit more than I originally did. Now the bird I was given was obviously one singular colour with a red tail. I need to stop getting rid of the image. Yeah, I would I can't say I would change too much of my own design, but yes, I would have doing this now, I would make this darker. And I would probably give him eyeshadow. I'm not gonna lie. I know this character, I've drawn him since. This character is fabulous, and his drag form is fabulous, and I didn't have time to compile every single image for every character, so I had to choose one image. Choose one image each. Yeah, jet black is like, yeah, it is the 000 on the color wheel. If I was to do this again, I think I would add one more bird element, which would be a secondary tail feather fan at the base of the tail. And I would maybe segregate the wings a little bit to give them more of a silhouette, which basically means making the wings just slightly different from the body to make them stand out. Yeah, I know that's all I can really say about this one. Like, it's quite a good one to start with because, yeah, my own designs aren't perfect and we're illustrating that right here, right now. But I'm really glad, God, I cannot speak. I am really glad, there we go, Frank has a good home. Onyx is also like, you know, a secondary home for all of my old characters as well. If you're looking for any of my old OCs I don't use anymore, Onyx has most of them. Sorry, taking another drink. God, this is going to be hard to get through with a voice like this. Hi, Voltage, welcome in. Yeah, I do be sipping. So I love this OC's reference sheet for a start. Let me see. I need to get a good look at this before I do anything. Get my thoughts together. So yeah, I love this OC. Very much giving me tropical bat pony vibes. I need to stop doing that and taking the image away. Oh, why did it take? Okay. It just collapsed Discord. Why did it do that? Let's see if it's still on in this one. It is, okay. So very much tropical bat pony OC vibes. Really love that. So we're going to judge this overall as like, you know, this meets the brief of being a tropical bat. I mean, look at the colors. You have a very nice yellow that melds into the pink, a pinkish sort of orangey tone that you would find in a citrus fruit. I mean, when you take a look at like grapefruits and that, they do have like a sort of pinkish undertone that you find in tropical fruits. You've got the pink eye, which is tying in with that hue. You have the very subtle gradient going down that hoof there. Quite a nice blue, and it turns into more of an oceany blue at the bottom. And that comes back, that's not just like slapped there, that's also in the eyeshadow and again in the outer wing membrane. I really love this, and do you know what, I really love this character with this headband as well, because this is bringing back more of the purples and stuff that you're seeing in the eyes. It also gives them it adds to the tropical sort of hippie vibe that I'm sort of getting vibes of this character. I love these alt outfits at the bottom. I like this outfit on this OC a little bit more than the street chic one, just simply because I'm not sure the greys and blacks are really tying in with her more colourful theme. At the same time, you don't want to oversaturate colours and make like a giant rainbow out of this character. Because she's quite busy as is, so I do like this outfit, but this outfit is a little bit too busy for me. And I love the cutie mark. I love that this is a pony skull, not a human skull, because ponies wouldn't have human skulls in the pony world. I love this. The only thing I would change with this design, personally, is I would simplify this cutie mark just a little bit, just a little smidgy. I would maybe actually get rid of the lower jaw. And keep the goopy eyes. And maybe add a flower. Like a hibiscus or something. I'm hoping I'm saying that right, hibiscus? But this is a really solid design. It's a really solid reference sheet. I'm quite jealous. But yeah, I think this is a nice design, I can't lie. I also love when people with bat ponies give the bat pony wings. See, instead of like putting the thumb of the wing, I don't know if you can even see my mouse circling this. When they put the thumb of the wing and segregate it as like a little sort of almost like a dragon horn thing, like an actual like nail, I really love that. Adds so much to the silhouette, and I actually quite like that the wing membrane is slightly see-through as well. I do like it. So yeah, 200. This is a gorgeous character. Yeah, they're gorgeous. Fruit bat was the idea. No, you nailed it. You nailed it. This is a really nice balance of not too busy and not too basic. It doesn't. If it had its own show, it doesn't look like it could be a background character. It looks like it would be a main character, or at the very least a reoccurring character within a show. Next up, we have this pony. This is such a sweet design. I am really partial to art styles that lean a little bit more on realistic horse anatomy than ponies. No, I like her long legs. Her long legs are lovely. I'm also really partial to Pegasi. I'm partial to visible hooves. I'm partial to this particular hair sweepy design. And I'm very partial to natural colours with a pop of fun colours that you're seeing in the handbana. A bandana. Handbana's not a thing. No, I love this. I actually have no notes really. I'm struggling here for notes. Neutral tone ponies have my heart. I really love them. I think if I were to do one thing differently, it would be this cutie mark. It blends in a little bit too much with the design. It kind of looks like a freckle, which if you're not fond of cutie marks in your art, is a really good direction to go if they bother you. But if I were to personally design a cutie mark for this character, I'd maybe be borrowing some colours from that bandana, or some white from the socks. I cannot speak. I am so sorry. I should not be allowed near a microphone. Yeah, that is honestly the only thing I would change with this design. This design's lovely. It looks, again, like it could be a main character in its own world, not a background. I would say at the very least a recurring character. It looks great. If I were to be designing a series and animating a series, this character has wonderful potential. It's just gorgeous. It's gorgeous, and the freckles and the socks, and yeah, it's just very nice. And we're not too busy. Again, we have detail, but we're not lost in the detail. The focal point it's always really important to me that the focal point always ends up back at the face, which it does, because we have a pop of color at the face. And then, but we're not completely glued in on the face because it has interesting stuff going on, like the socks and the freckles. It's really nice. I'm also a really big fan of duotone wings. So, mwah. Absolutely gorgeous, darling. It's still, yeah. Phase in the corner is sitting in the corner because I am a poor artist who cannot afford PNG tubers or VTubers or anything actually. We won't look at her. She's just there, okay? She's mostly hidden because she doesn't move. She's in the corner of shame, okay? On to the next character. I love this base. I know this base from the show. This is a Pinkie Pie base. Yeah, Lunar Phase goes in the corner of shame for not having a proper reference sheet and for not being a VTuber and for not even being a PNG tuber. But anyway, this base really nicely done. I love this character actually. I'm loving how wild the hair is. This character looked like it went into a salon and got like this sort of the 2000s era crimped hair. It's quite eclectic, also very electric, I agree. I am assuming from the colours of this character and the cutie mark that this might be an Apple Dash next gen. Yeah, I'm assuming that this is an AJ and Rainbow Dash next gen. I'm also assuming she parties hard. Look at that cutie mark. Look at the cider. Girly Pop is probably chugging quite a few of those down if that's her vibe. I think she is a very high energy character. And it's quite good that we've got that shape language describing that. We've got the zaggy points. You know, when we're describing energy, usually a lightning bolt is what we get. And we have quite a few zigzagginess, lightning bolt-esque things going on through this hair. The body is quite gentle, which I like so that we're not getting too much like wham in the face. But yeah, no, I'm really fond of this. I think the only thing I would change this design is I would add hoofsies. I'm sorry, I can't add hoofsies to everything. I know G4 does not usually have hoofsies, but I would add hoofsies. I would maybe change the apple from a normal red apple to a golden apple to tie in with the hair here. And that's honestly the only change I would make. It's a really balanced design. I literally couldn't do anything else. It's really fun, but it's basic and fun, but it's not too basic, and it's not too fun. So it's a perfectly. A Zap Apple could work as well, but I think I wouldn't put rainbows in her design, so you didn't like make a focal point of her butt, you know. You know, I want to keep the focal point up here, which is nice and energetic, rather than be butt, you know. Or a Granny Smith, yeah, or a green apple. Something more greeny to tie in with the sort of greenish hue in the eyes. That's the only thing I would change. The cutie mark's also really well done. It's nice and simple, quite consistent with the style. So yeah, I think that's the only thing I would change, really. It's a good character, I love it. So I would love to draw it one time. You know, if I felt like putting my hands in the grave with all that hair lining, I would have to do. But yeah, very good character, love it, well done. Now this one, now I'm going to talk about, I'm going to go on a tangent here, right? Not because I don't like this character is gorgeous, but I need to use guys to understand this particular thing. Right, I am almost certain looking at this design that the user that designed this character has an Instagram account. And this is because I see a lot of OCs from the Instagram community that have this, don't forget to drink, very good point, thank you. I have le drink, thank you. Now the Instagram community is very fond of characters that are quite busy, have quite a lot of patterns, and that also have children toy themes. I've noticed. So I'm going to guess in my head that this character could be from the Instagram community. But unlike a lot of the Instagram OCs I see, this is actually quite well balanced. This is the perfect balance of it's busy, but it's not overwhelmingly busy. We have the cutie mark is gorgeous, by the way. That's so cute. We're not offended by like tons of things going on here. I mean, we've got quite a detailed cutie mark. We've got the toys. We have a patterned hair bow, and everything else is quite simple, which is really nice. It's not too simple. We still have some detail going on, which is why I still think it's an Instagram OC. Yeah, no, I don't think I would change anything. The pink is actually a really nice pop of colour, because when a design is really samey and has very similar colours, you start to look at it a little bit too much as a whole. You're sort of like looking at this thing that moves and stuff like that. Whereas as a designer myself, I quite like to draw focus back to the face when I can. And we've done that with the pink. There's an element of tying in colours with the design, and then there's an element of making a feature. So having the pink there to draw us back from all this busyness going on down here, all this busyness and cuteness, they have some pink in them too, draws us right back to the face, where we can actually read the character and see emotions and see that this is a character, not just a picture, you know? It's nice. It's very well rounded. There's not actually a thing I would change on this character. I'm guessing that the tail, I think, yeah, the tail's a little ducky tail. That's cute. This character has a very short tail, sort of in the shape of tail feathers, which is really cute. So I wouldn't actually change a thing in this character. I'd maybe at the very most take away this sort of golden gradient in the horn, and I would keep the cool sort of star aesthetic thing going on at the base of the horn, but then can keep this white, I think, is the only thing I would change. Just so we have like a strong silhouette that isn't melting into the details too much. But other than that, again, gorgeous, main character energy, beautiful. Oh, I love Karens. I'm going to take a sip while we admire the Karen for a second. Everyone admire the Karen. I do love Karens. I know this character. I've seen this character around quite a lot. There's not anything I would change. I'm sorry, it's perfect. My pet hate, badoomsh, you gotta be curing me. Well done. My pet hate with Karens in the show is the weird horn that doesn't match anything else in the design. I love when people change the colours of the horns and don't just make them red, because the red horns put on a design that has no other red or doesn't even have any hues that match red irks me. So for my own personal taste, I love that the horn is the same colour, or at least ties in with the colours of the palette. It's gorgeous. I'm also a huge fan of characters with white hair. I'm also a huge fan of characters with a fire theme, so this character is gorgeous to me. I love this character. I wish to draw it. Please give it to me. Yeah, I love this. I'm trying to look at it and frantically pick out in my head live what I would do differently, and I can't find anything. I wouldn't do anything different. It is slightly too late, Mo. I'm so sorry. I have 4 streams worth of OCs to do. Yeah, I love the character. I'm a big fan of gold, so the gold hooves, the gold scales, really nice. I love that the gold's also in this little feature under the eye here. I love the facial markings, very wolf-like, but as you can see, this character, I believe, is bunny related, which I can see in these longer ears and also in this little silhouette of an alternative dragon design in the background, which is really cool. It's Neeric form, I also really love. I'm not a huge fan in the show when the Neerics all look identical. I quite like it when a Neeric is still recognizable as being a separate entity and an actual character of itself, a vice version of its not angry form. Will any of these streams be saved? Yes, but they're being recorded and I'm going to do my utmost best to put them on YouTube. Please wish me luck because I actually have never submitted anything to YouTube in like at least 9 years. I love in the hoof split, if you can see these here, this is looking like a dark ember between the hoof toes here, which is actually really nice. I love that we've got some dragon scales going along from the stomach and under the tail as well. And my own Karen designs, I almost always extend the scales on the back along the tail a little bit. But actually, this is also, I really like this. I need to try this as well because this is really nice. Goodbye, Amber. I hope you can catch the rest later. I can't. No, I wouldn't do anything different with this. I think maybe the most thing I would do is I'd maybe invert her colors for the Neeric. I would maybe, her main color in normal form is a dark bluey black. And her Neeric form, I think it'd be really cool if we actually inverted this and made its main color white and made the fire black. I think. I've yet to do, I do have my own Karen OC who is mostly white. I want to make her Neeric form mostly smoky black. Because I like the idea of the Neerics being a flip of the coin from the Karen. I think that's the only thing I would change. Really. I still love the fire though, so I'd maybe like black fire into like a sort of like a black smoke into the fire or something. It'd be really cool. But yeah, I'm genuinely picking at straws there though because this is such a solid design. Love it. Would like to draw it. Please give me one time. Let me think. I'm taking another sippy. Another sippy. There we go. Okay. I don't think you can get in this fandom without seeing red and blue OCs. They're prevalent. You see a lot of red and blue OCs. A lot of them can be quite harsh in the eyes. This one's actually quite a nice moderate. I'm just taking a little second to gather my thoughts on this one because I do like it. The red means they go faster. I love red OCs for a start. I've always tried to make myself a red OC and I've never connected with any of them, and I've been really sad because I love red. The OC has quite a few, what we would call like a tri-color palette. So you've got blue, red, and yellow in the eyes. And yeah, it doesn't hurt my eyes. It's done quite a good job of not going to the sort of neon part of the color wheel, which is like, I'm always saying, if you're going to go to the neon part of the color wheel, do it for one color at most. If your whole character design is in that neon corner, you're going to be hurting some eyes. It's also not going to be, it's going to be quite hard to shade in my like, every single time I've done a neon character whose palette is very much all located in that upper corner of like, if I'm saying upper corner, you might not know what that means when it comes to like drawing programs. That the neons are all like gathered in if you're using the square color wheel, they're gathered in the upper corner, okay? there's like a little corner that is like fenced off behind some barbed wire that says do not go here. And sometimes you gotta go there, because even if you're not a fan of it yourself as an artist, the client is, and you gotta do it. So I'm liking that we don't have this whole palette in that very overly saturated neon corner. I really like that We've got some character going on here. I love the hairstyle. I mean, you see a lot of, it's like almost mullet-esque. It's still masculine. It's still, like, you can tell this is a stallion and stuff like that. It's quite nice. I really like the hair design and the hair silhouette. I normally like bi-colored wings. What I would change in a specifically red wing though, and this is purely a personal taste thing, take it with a pinch of salt, is I wouldn't make the secondary colour a pinky colour because it starts to look like flesh. It's my only thing, okay? It's my only thing. It gives more of like a meat feel to it. I think if you were to choose a different colour for the wing, I would either make it the darker. See this back wing here? See that colour right there? Put that colour there. Promise, it'll work. The cutie mark as well. The tornado is a very well done. It does match the hooves. It does. I'll get to that in a second. The hair rendering's gorgeous. I agree. I love like the sort of there's a sporty element to this character, but we can see there's also a well-read aspect to this character. Yeah, perhaps. If you're wanting to keep it a lighter colour, I would go with something that wasn't quite a peachy pink. The cutie mark, back to that, sorry, I'm losing my thoughts. I am not at my best today, I'm so hot, my throat is so sore. The tornado cutie mark, very well done. However, I would actually shift its hue to be a little bit more blue. Just a smidgen. Just so it's not such a grey scale, because we don't have anything else in this design that has any greys or blacks in it. I would shift it to be a sort of bluish colour. Just to tie in, doesn't have to be overly blue. I don't mean like the same colour as the main here, but like a similar hue. Take the hue of the main, and yeah, put it on the cutie mark, because at the minute the focal point is very much not at the face, it's very much back here. I love that the eyes are yellow. It does stand out. I would maybe keep the yellow eyes and add some sort of yellow accessory. Perhaps even make golden hooves. But I'm a bit of a sucker for golden hooves. Don't worry about it. I quite like hooves that are golden, and that's just a personal preference, and we don't have to do that. It's okay. It's probably just me. But yeah, I like I'm a big fan of peachy hooves. Maybe not for this design. I would maybe get rid of the peachiness on red. I don't tend to put peachiness with red normally, but nah, I think it's I think I'm too focused on the wings. I think I'm just like, I want to change the wings. I think if you actually were to just change the wings, everything else would be fine. Change the wings and a slight shift on the hue of the tornado, that'd be great. But honestly, it's such a charming character. I am nitpicking. I promise I'm nitpicking. I promise I like him. I promise he's beautiful. Okay, I promise. Brave Shadow. So I remember this person who submitted this character told me that the hair... Dinner time, Naz, pizza. I'm fine, hon. I don't need pizza, I'm good. I had some rolls before I started. You get yourself pizza. The person that submitted this character, I remember, a lot of people submitted, but I remember this character when I was saving it. They told me that this hair gradient had previously been red. I love the shift to green. I'm quite glad you've went green. I think I also remember this is a zebra hybrid. And I'm liking that. I think one thing with zebra hybrids that I'm not always a fan of is the stripes being very, very, like, you've taken the zebra stripes and put the pony colours to it, but then made the stripes a very dramatically different colour to the rest of the pony's coat, whereas when you see like actual zebra hybrids going around, their stripes are usually faded in into their existing colour palette. They aren't like you don't like, I don't think I'm wording this in the best way, I'm sorry. You get like people that have like yellow coat and then red stripes. And I think having that the stripes are still the same hue, they are like part of the coat. It's just nice. It's nice. Devical is okay. I promise it's okay. The whole stream will be up afterwards. I promise. But yeah, when it comes to hybrids, I like seeing a little bit of element of what real zebra hybrids do, which is the stripes fade into the coat. They aren't as stand outish as a zebra's, like a purebred zebra's stripes. But it doesn't mean they don't have to exist either. But yeah, I'm glad in this OC that we actually have the stripes also on the legs. If you look at zebra hybrids in the wild, most of their stripes usually end up fading out completely from whole of their body except their face and their legs. It's quite cool actually. I think it's because it brings out more primitive horse genes, which also have striping in the legs. So yeah, I love the stripes. They agree with me. I'm glad that we have some stripes here. I have a little bit of a gothic vibe going on. Again, really cool. I love the eyeshadow. I love that the minty greens echoed in the eyes. I take a sip because my throat is dying. There we go. Yeah, I wouldn't do much different in this design. What would I do different? Thonk face. I would maybe make some of the accessories like these little ear cuffies here. I think I would make those a type of metal, silver or gold perhaps. I think I would also maybe apply the dark grey of the stripe onto the secondary wing feathers, or perhaps the primary wing feathers, and then leave the secondaries the colour they are, just to break up silhouette a bit more. But again, that's a personal thing of mine. I quite like breaking up my pony's silhouettes when they have wings. Not to the point where the wings look totally detached, although I have had a couple of seasons I've done that on purpose for reasons. But yeah, I think silver would be a really nice colour to add to this character, I think. But otherwise, it's quite a solid design. It doesn't offend me in any way. I wouldn't be nervous drawing this design. It's gorgeous, actually. I really like it. I really like it. It's very nice. Nice and gothic. I also love green, so, you know, I'm a bit biased. Let me see what that says, because my phone mutes what you said. I was curious if my little idiot... If you posted on the main post, it would have gotten. I closed the post about 4 hours ago, because I realised I wouldn't be able to get through anymore. And here we have this OC. Give me a second, my throat's dying. So, I'm assuming this OC is still young. He has quite a young body shape going on, almost full grown, but not totally matured yet. No cutie marks that we can see, a few scars here and there. I'm assuming from the moon in the background that there's some lunar related elements going on here, which you could probably see in his hair. I quite like the hair design. What I would do different. Now, unless these are very fresh wounds and you'd like them to stay, so I would probably lower the opacity on his scars. When scars have healed, they aren't quite as prominent, and can tell a bit of a story of the character without being too overwhelming on the design. Now, this isn't overwhelming as per se, but like it's something that I do for storytelling to make my scars look aged a little bit. I really like the colours going on here. I like that we've got like the eyes are silver. I'm quite partial. He does got a backstory for real, he does. I'm quite partial to grey eyes. But I think in this design, I'd maybe like to see a third colour be introduced to the palette. Other than the scars. I'm not particularly counting the scars towards his colour palette at the minute. But I think I would quite like another... yeah, slightly silvery, yeah, quite age the scars a little bit. and then adds a little pop of colour. But otherwise, solid design. When you've got a darker pony like this, it's quite nice seeing the lines be lighter. And this colour like this, you could get away with doing darker as well, but if you've noticed Luna on the show, she has lighter outlines, and it adds a sort of glossy element, I'd say, to the design. It's something I would also... I've lost my train of thought. It was something... I've lost it again. There, I got it again. There we go. If I were to do this... do this guy a reference sheet, I would maybe add on to his reference sheet to make any outlines of his lighter, so that it keeps this sort of glossy integrity across multiple art pieces if you're getting commissions of him, that is. So, this is an unusual one. A fairy pony, male. This blind in left eye. So we have some storytelling already with the eyes. We can tell that this eye is maybe not functioning the same as this one, which is really nice. I'm not quite sure if this is supposed to be scarring or a marking. Real Gamer Kitten, I think your design, let me just check briefly. Let me check. No, not in today's stream. I know exactly what you're talking about. I'll get to it, I promise. I just didn't expect so many people to submit all at once. I'm so sorry. We're going to have to do 4 streams to get through them all for anyone that's came in. Though there's going to be multiple streams. I would try and do more today, but I think I would genuinely rip my throat out if I kept speaking with a cold for about 5 hours. So yeah, I like this character. A fairy pony. Very nice, very unusual. I can see that we've taken some military sort of element to this jacket here. I would have quite liked to have seen this character's design without the accessories to get like a better idea. But yeah, I think everything looks good. I think the only thing I'd change is this peachy colour here. I think I would I would maybe try and I'm not really sure if it's a scar or a marking is the problem with how vivid it is. I want, if it was just on the eye here, I would assume it's a scar, and I do kind of assume it's a scar because it's going over the blind eye. I'd either age this a little bit, or make it a bit more raggedy, and if there is some scarring going on in the neck here, I'm not sure if it's getting obscured too much by the outfit. Yeah, just some aging to scars, like, unless it's freshly happened. You see a lot in, like, let's take the iconic Scar from The Lion King, for example. His scar is still looking very fresh, but I think it is aged slightly. Let me just check before I talk nonsense. Lion King. Yeah, Scar's one is aged slightly. Not quite as vivid. I'm going to guess it's a Scar, yeah. I think what I would do differently is design. For one, I would maybe change these Fey wings into something a little bit more sparkly, maybe a bluish, maybe a little bit more fairy-like. But that's just like a personal thing. I love the cloven hooves. Keep the cloven hooves. They're gorgeous. And I would maybe revise the scars just a little bit. Like in colour for the face, and maybe the little neck one. I would maybe either change the shape of that or where it's located so that we can get some more storytelling out of it, because at the minute it's hidden just a little bit by the jacket. Just a little bit. I also want to know if this down here is a cutie mark, because if it is, that's quite cool. It's okay, feel free for wall of text. I do not mind wall of text. Up next, we have another bat pony. I really love the markings on the back legs. I'm usually not a big fan of like of lots of marking in these, but I quite like this one. It's very psychedelic, and this character gives me the vibes that it would be psychedelic. Also, that cutie mark is really well made. I also like OCs that have a little breakdown of the design here. I'm actually going to look at this first because this is really good. Again, gothic vibes. What I would change, the wing color, perfect. Hair color, perfect. It's giving me very much like a black hole vibe. I think if I were to change anything is I don't really want to because I love the color of the eye, but I think with the design as a whole, we need a color that's not a purple hue. Just one color to make something pop a little bit more. I'd be very tempted to make the eyes gold, actually. The earring chains are really lovely, yeah. I'm very jealous of people that can draw earrings like this because I can't. I need to do more practice on them. I love the snake bites. My partner has snake bites. A bit biased in that. I love the markings. I'm assuming that these legs could perhaps be one giant cutie mark each. That doesn't offend me if it does. Oh, thank you, Leelers. Welcome in. But yeah, I think if I really don't want to change anything. I love the eyes as well. That's such a nice color. That's probably like my favorite shade of purple. But overall in the design, because we have got quite a bit of purple hue going on here, I would maybe like to see one standout color, and I'd probably the only place I'd put it is the eyes. Or perhaps this little purple star that we've got going on here. I want to see some just one other color of a different hue is all. But that's just my own personal preference. Again, nitpicking. The design's gorgeous. I also really love characters that do the dark ears. Bye, Mo. Good luck with art fight. Right. Who's next? This guy's next. I take another sippy. I'm going to have to go in like 5 minutes to get another juice, but you know, that is what it is. Right. I love seeing draft characters. I do love draft characters. We get some draft horses in the show, and I wish we had more draft horse OCs, if I'm honest. Its design is very simple. I'm going to go out on a limb here. I want to say these cards could be Magic the Gathering cards. I'm not sure if they are. Let's see. What does Magic the Gathering cards look like? Not sure if they're just meant to be Magic cards. Are they meant to be? Let me see. Yes, I was right. So sorry, reading some comments here. Right, okay. I'm suffering. Not because it's design, I'm just suffering in general. I'm just gonna die briefly. I love this OC. Love that it's a draft. What would I do differently? For starters, this cutie mark is very standout against the rest of the design. It doesn't have any colours that tie in with the rest of the design, except for that tiny smidge of blue. If you were to do a Magic the Gathering cutie mark, I think perhaps remove the two cards at the side. Keep this. Perhaps shift the hue a little bit to match the hue of the coat a little bit more. The central circle does this quite well. I would probably like to see it on the outside card too. And I think probably a puff of blue magic smoke circling it, maybe. Because for right now, I'm not really looking up here, which I should, because he's got this beautiful eye patch going on. I love eye patch markings. And he's got these lovely big hooves down here, but I'm keep getting drawn back to here in his design. Where I want to be up here. And I think just purely it's just because the cutie mark stands out just a smidge too much. But he's got such lovely colours, it's such a nice solid palette to work from. We've got like the nice cool contrasted by the nice warm like sort of orangey brown. And for a draft I don't begrudge the heavier grayer hooves. It's kind of a signature feature. Yeah, I think getting rid of the magic over the thing and bringing the side cards in, or either remove them and add some bluer elements to tie in. I think that would be brilliant. I think then he would be 100% good to go. Very bright. I love green. And I think we could get away with this very bright green if perhaps this eye color was yellow. I had a look at this character earlier. I was combing over this because I like green. I do not besmirch green this bright because it is the only color in this. It's a very bright palette. But I don't besmirch it because the rest of the colors are not in neon territory. This green is bordering on neon territory. I think what I would do differently with this design is I would change what do we call it? I would change this green here, which is a very nice green, don't get me wrong. I would actually either change it to either the yellow or the orange. Or even the blue. Just to tone down the green just a little bit. Just a little bit. But I think otherwise, the design could be really nice in quite a few different styles. But yeah, I would change the eye color just to make a little bit of a more focal point in these beautiful eyes. And I would also, so the outline that you've done the hair in, this line art color, I know it's a choice because I know Rainbow's line art color, this is very much like Rainbow's mane. Rainbow's line art color around her entire mane, regardless of the colors inside, is blue. The same blue tone as her line art color for the body. I think in this case, because the line art color for the mane is a different green than the darker outline color or the body, it's a little bit muddy, I would say. I think I would maybe change it to the same green that you used to outline the main body is what I would maybe change it to. Just maybe. Just maybe. Otherwise, really solid design. I'm interested to see what this cutie mark is. It looks like it could be a feather on a color wheel, perhaps. But yeah, just a smidge different. Just a little couple tweaks I'd make in that one, but otherwise, very nice potential. Now look at this character. Now I want nobody to talk about alicorns. Okay, alicorns get too much flack. Okay, it's not a crime to add some wings and horns in this business. Now, my immediate thought looking at this character is a blue jay. I don't know if that's on purpose but the wings in particular give me blue jay vibes. I really like that as a feature. I am not sure if it's a little bit too blendy with the mane. Just slightly. I love the eyes. It's a gorgeous character. I really like the cutie mark as well. I think what would I change? I would perhaps Bye, Cosmic. Have a good day. Yeah, the bandanas around the neck. I also have a weakness. Yeah, I like that the colors match. I think I would just do it a smidge differently. I can see the only color that is not in the wing is the lighter pink in the main. I would I would be really tempted to make the pink of the main color, and then introduce the colors of the wings as the accent colors that you see through the main. Is maybe what I would do, but again, I'm clutching at straws because it is really beautiful. I love the wing shape as well. No, I love the idea as well. Yeah. The red does distract me from the rest of her a little bit because the rest of her is quite matchy, and then the red is very like just there. I love the red though. I do actually love it on this palette wheel up here. Oh, it's a hard one. I would probably have to play with this to understand what's tweaking my brain a bit. The red does seem a little random. It could be a very nice accent color though. It is a cute red. I very much like it. Like again, this is me being like the most nitpickiest of nitpicker ever. But no, I really love the wings. I want to draw her wings. But no, I love yeah. So I'm going to guess that the red is probably a favorite color. But yeah, I think I would shuffle the colors around just a tiny bit. I would keep the wings. Don't you touch those wings? Those wings are gorgeous. Um, I would shuffle some colors around just a little bit to get more of a balance on them than being quite so matchy. But otherwise, beautiful. Also love this reference sheet. It's really nice. Another Karen. Karen. Yes. I take a sippy before we get into this one. First of all, I love Karens with unique horns, and I really love that this guy has a hole through his horn. He also looks super grumpy, which I love. I love grumpy characters. Give me a grump any day. I love the green grey vibe. He actually reminds me of like a stone statue in a garden. Again, loving the horn design. The horn design is just really unique and gorgeous. It's got a really nice silhouette about it too. And I can understand its structure. There's sometimes when you look at Karen horns and you're sort of looking at tilting your head this way and that to see what does this look like from different angles, and you're not quite sure. You don't get that with this. I'm not having to tilt my head to see what this horn is doing. I can see that it's doing unusual things, but I can also see how it's working, and I like that. I think the only thing I would change in this character is that this green on the hooves is a very different, warmer, grassier hue than the green in the main, and it isn't anywhere else in the design. Which makes his focal point sadly not his face but his feet. Yeah, I bet the horn was a rebellious moment as a younger Karen. That could be a really cool idea if Karens could like pierce their horns or something. Or shape them in some way. You know, I don't know if you guys are familiar with bonsai trees, but I'm not sure if like Karens, being nature related, grow their horns a little bit like trees, and that's why they look a little bit branchy. I wonder if they could shape their horns. That'd be really cool. But yeah, the only thing I would change in this design is I would change the color of the hooves. Either to be a grey like the horn and the scales, or to be the same green as the mane. I this one is purely a personal choice, so I'm not overly fond when I'm drawing art of these like sort of stripe markings, horizontal stripe markings in the leg, purely because I feel like it breaks up the silhouette a little bit too much. It detaches the leg from the rest of the body. It's a very popular marking, and it might just be me. I personally find that I like them better without the the horizontal marking sort of segregating the leg like this. Um, Instead, I would maybe introduce this as a gradient from the fetlock up to the knee. Um, but yeah, that is the only thing I changed. I love the horn. It's cool. I'd love to see his lyric form. I think maybe the lyric form was posted, but I couldn't choose it as I only have time for one image each. Oh, Honey Neve. I have known this character for a very long time. Um, first remember joining this character when I was a teenager, actually. I have no notes for this character. It's gorgeous. It's such cottagecore vibes. I love the simplicity of the cutie mark. I think if I were to do like one thing different with this character is see the gold of the sort of honey cake cutie mark. Um, but I think if I were to, I would either make the glasses gold or I'd give her gold hooves. But honestly, that's it. I love that the cherry ties in with the red on there. Yeah, I really like this one. It's just so warm. It's such a comforting character, and I really like for once that we've got a character that isn't like. I mean, my most sort of it's not a pet hate. I don't hate it. Most when you see people's characters and ponies, almost quite a large majority of them, one of the traits is much shorter than the average pony. Which I get because people like to be small and cute and all that sort of thing. I understand it, but I like that this isn't like shown here in the size scale. That she's not like a breezy compared to the other pony. You know, I can imagine her in the show, in the G4 show especially, and I like that for her. I love the sort of fishtail braid she's got going on. I think it's a fishtail braid. I love her hairstyle. I love the green. I love that yeah. I have no notes, honestly. She's gorgeous. Now this character, I'm going to have to pick apart this character from the very detailed background. So let me just get my bearings with this. Yeah, okay. So I love armor in characters. I especially like this segregated sort of neck armor going down. I really love that. I can see that this character is wearing horseshoes, also a really nice touch. It's not something I've actually integrated into a design before from like viewing from a complete perspective. It's something I've maybe added when you lift the hoof up and you can see it underneath. What would I change? I think the only things I would change in this design is I'm not so sure about this leg band at the back. It's segregating the leg a little bit too much for me, but that just might be me. I would like the color of the gemstone here to also be the color of the eyeshadow. I think would look really nice. Just to tie in these colors a little bit, and perhaps the lightning bolt be not quite be as neon as that. Perhaps a lighter color of the gold that we have here. And not quite as saturated. I really love the wing blades. Those are really cool. Yeah. That's the only thing I would change. It's gorgeous. Le gorge. I like that we've got some like you can see how those wing blades are strapped onto. But yeah, the only thing that jumps out to me is the cutie mark. It's a little bit different hues than anything else in the design, and I would maybe like to see instead of changing the cutie mark hues, I would like the lightning bolt to be changed. I think. But if I were to do something different here, I would probably take this quite nice blue here, and I would take it to this desaturated sort of blue up here, and change it there. But otherwise, that is really all I would change. I love the armor though, it's cool. Now, there were a few OCs that I couldn't. I'll stop for a second. There's a few OCs that I couldn't add to this because I couldn't see the design clearly enough. There was a few OCs that either didn't have colour or only a headshot was submitted. Um, I think there was a couple of the Ponytown sprites where were too blurred for me to see properly. So a few of those are not sadly going to get reviewed, but this one I can review this one. But I'm going to review it after a sip because my tonsils are complaining. God Flutters, welcome in. Welcome in. I hope your day's been good. Okay, so this is quite a busy design with quite a few different colours going on. Did you already go through mine? I'm not quite sure. I don't know what everyone's usernames are to the OCs yet. I will be going through everyone's and they will be getting posted afterwards, I promise. I don't know how far we're into this one so far actually. How many do we have to go? We're just under the midway mark for this stream. So yeah, this OC, I need to focus. I'm getting off topic. I love monotone OCs, as you can see from my OC in the corner. I also have a monotone OC. I think she is very cute. There is a couple of things I would do differently. I do love the green. The green is really nice. I'm not so sure about just quite how many accent colours we've got. We've got blue, we've got yellow, we've got green, we've got pink, and we've got teal and lavender. I'd personally get rid of the teal, and I think I would get rid of the pink too. Yeah, her eyes make a really good job of bringing us back to this focal point here, but these are very distracting on the design. And I think what I would do, the purple is less offending than the very bright teal and the cutie mark. So I think what I would do in this character is I would make all these two, the teal and the pink, I would make these the same sort of purple as this up here at the very most. I love the green little tongue. I know a lot of people who are both in the furry community and the pony community do this with the green mouths, or like the mouths that are the same colour as an accessory. It's very mascot-esque. I quite like it. It's also alien-esque, I think. But yeah, I love the little freckles. I like what's going on here. I just think to make this less busy and to improve the focal point of the face, I would just tweak these colours here. But she's very cute. You could match the green, yes. Going back to that, you could match the green, but it might be too samey if you did that. Going into dragon ponies now. Dragon ponies were very popular when I first joined the fandom. I joined the fandom about 2015, I think it was. And at the time, there was a lot of you older bronies will know what I'm talking about. At the time, there was a very popular next gen, which one of the characters was a dragon pony hybrid. And ever since this particular character came out and became very popular, dragon ponies sprouted everywhere. I'm not saying everyone copied this one dragon pony, I'm just saying I was there for the origin times of the dragon ponies. Now, what I personally like to see in dragon ponies, and this is a personal preference, I like when the body is elongated a bit more to show dragon genes. I like when we have a tail that doesn't feel like a dragon tail slapped on a pony silhouette. So I quite enjoy this design in that it is quite elongated. The snout's elongated. We've got horn up here. And this doesn't just look like a pony that someone's put dragon assets on, which is my main thing. But yeah, I just yeah, crystal clarity is one of them. I love the metal bladed wings. This character is mostly sort of a grayscale overtone, and I'm digging it. It is quite edgy, but I'm digging it. There's nothing actually wrong with edgy, it's just that a lot of fandoms feel oversaturated with edgy OCs and people get a little bit like, oh, there's another one. There's nothing actually wrong with them. It's, you know, they were very much, you're always going to have edginess, and there's nothing actually wrong with edginess. I quite enjoy an edgy character here and there. They're also really fun to paint, you know? But yeah, I like this. I like that we've got the... I think the only thing I would do differently is I'd maybe add a bit more scaling to him. Perhaps. But otherwise, no notes. No notes. I like the cutie mark as well. It's almost like a shuriken, I want to say. Yeah, it's quite literally edgy. Yeah, look at the wings. They have some sharp points to it. Anyway, I'll put this one up. I'm going to be right back. I'm grabbing myself more Ribena for my poor throat. Oh, I'm back. I really should have like planned these streams for a time when I was at my best, because you're getting me at not even 50% right now. I'm so sorry. But first of all, love the art style. Love the goat eye as well. Last week I actually, on the day of the car accident, the dreaded car accident, I was actually coming back from a farm restaurant and place where we actually were getting to cuddle baby goats. So I might be partially biased for the goat eye right now, because all I can think of when I'm looking at it is cuddling baby goats. This design is really cute, actually. I like the non-saturated colors. They're actually kind of reminding me of, this is going to sound really weird. They remind me of an Australian cattle dog with the markings and the hue. Yeah, he looks like a goofy Weegaber. What I would do differently in this design, first of all, I would make the cutie mark not the same color as the tongue. I probably actually make the cutie mark this lighter color to blend in with his more naturalistic realism vibes. But everything else stellar. I like his little tartan scarf too. It's also been really nicely done, the tartan scarf. See how they've done the pattern matching the 3D shape of the scarf instead of just being sort of slapped on. It's nice. He's cool. I'd like to draw him sometime. He does give me Grogar vibes. I've seen a few people comment that already. But yeah, I think I would just change the cutie mark in that set in this design. He's very much a workhorse. I think as a workhorse, like as a draft, another sort of example of a draft, um, is good with the sort of stompy design choices here. I quite like it. It does give a very uncanny valley vibe with the goat eye, but I do like it. Blue-eyed horses creep you out? Yeah, the real blue-eyed horses kind of look like they've got some demons sometimes. Same with dogs. And here we have another character with a paw cutie mark. Is it now a good time to say that my first ever OC had a paw cutie mark? I have no notes for this character, by the way. It's gorgeous. I actually don't even think this is just a paw cutie mark. I think this is a bear paw cutie mark. Yeah, I believe this is a bear claw. Which is actually really cool. I love the different browns we've got going on here. They're all slightly different hues, but they're all a warm hue. Now, designs start to look muddy when you start mixing cold and warm and desaturated with saturated, if that makes sense. If you have a very saturated design and you start, like, for instance, adding a desaturated color, you can start to add a little bit of muddiness to the design, and you don't get that here. Everything is still very chestnutty and bright, and it reminds me of autumn, and it's really nice, and I really like brown ponies, can you tell? I love the sort of the orange amber eye is really good for what is obviously a wilderness vibe going on here. You often see amber eyes in wild animals, and it's really nice to see them in ponies. Damn, how late am I? I don't know. How long have we been streaming, guys? An hour and 25 minutes. We're just about halfway through the first stream. So don't worry about it. It's going to get posted. It shall be posted, I promise. Yeah, Bear's got a lot of toesies. A lot of toesies. Hi, Stacey. Hello. If you have missed your character, please don't worry. The stream's going to be uploaded to both Twitch afterwards, and I'm going to attempt to upload it to YouTube, but, you know, pray for me because I've not actually done that before. But I'm loving this character. I love the marking here. I would maybe continue this marking further up at up the nose, just a smidgen. And that's honestly the only change I'd make to this design. He's really cute. I love his glossy hooves. I love it when people add some gloss and texture to the hooves. It's just really nice. It's just mwah. I love it. So yeah, really solid design. So this is our first Ponytown design. Now, I am going to actually take this for a second. I might need to open this on my Clip Studio, because at the minute it's too big. Open. Where did it go? It should be in here. Okay, no, it's not going to let me open it in Clip Studio. That's sad. I'm going to view it here, small, so that I can actually see it. I am fine with reviewing Ponytown designs. So they're obviously a bit harder to review. I'm fine with reviewing them. A couple that I didn't review was only because they were quite degraded, the image shown, and I really couldn't make it out very well what I was looking at. This design, my first impression is that this character is purple. There. It is purple. I have diagnosed it as purple. But joking aside, the character, from what I can make out, is a magician. I think this is a witch's hat here. There's some antennae going on, and there's a lot of reoccurring colours. And what I'd say is that this is actually what Ponytown's quite good for if you're wanting to test out a design. Is I am losing the silhouette of this character a little bit with just how matching the colours are. And I think I would like to see a little bit less busyness in the coat, just so I can see this mane stand out. I would also introduce a third colour, because we've got purple and we have yellow, and right now that's just two colours. I think I would maybe change the eyes to a different colour to make them pop out. Is what I would do. But that's really all I can derive from this Ponytown model. This is the busy. I cannot see much else. But yeah, nice base. I think just needs a little bit of tweaks. Amy Blood Eye. What's Amu? I don't know what Amu is, but ooh. Again, Zebra Pegasi hybrid. And again, I'm really glad to see that the stripes in this one are of a similar colour to the actual main body colour. They're a similar hue, just darker. As I said before, I find zebra stripes on zebra hybrids that have been done with ponies for like two different complete colours in the colour spectrum. I find them a bit garish, a bit like bold, a little bit too intense in the eyes. So I really like seeing more subtle stripes going on here. I love the colour palette. It's very much soft but with a bit of edge. And I'm a big fan of coloured scleras. And if you don't know what a sclera is, it's the whites of the eyes is a sclera. And I'm a fan when they're not white. It gives a bit of interest to the character. But yeah, what would I change? I think the only thing there's two things I would change in this character. One, the red moon of the cutie mark doesn't appear anywhere else. I'd maybe like to see another bit of red elsewhere, perhaps maybe a ruby necklace or a gemstone or one of the eye colors being red. I'm not this is a personal thing. I'm not overly fond of red being on hooves. They just sort of remind me of a kid that's been stepping on tomato ketchup. But I think I would like to see some red elsewhere in the design. I love this colour of blue on its own. I really do. It's really cute. The only thing I would say with this, like with entwining it with this particular design, is I would maybe change this colour of blue to be the same shade of greeny blue that you've got going on in the right eye. Is what I would do differently. But otherwise, perfecto. Another cute little zebra Pegasi. Now, I'm going to start off with this one saying that I know there's another fandom involved here and I don't know which one it is. So I know that I'm very under equipped to evaluate this one properly, because I can see that this is it Kingdom Hearts? Yeah, I know of Kingdom Hearts, but I don't know Kingdom Hearts, you know? Again, a monotone horse. As you can tell, I like monotone horses. I have my own in the corner. I like, yeah, the design silhouette is really solid. I don't feel like I'm qualified enough to comment on the Kingdom Heart elements. If I was to judge this as a character of from the My Little Pony universe alone, I would say perhaps the cutie mark could be something else, because we don't see any of these colours repeat in the design. Something a little bit less, because it's quite bright. I'm not really looking here. I'm looking at his bum. But again, solid design. I don't feel like I'm equipped enough to talk about the Kingdom Hearts elements. Thank you for those in chat who pointed out what it is, because I did not know. The key gave me a little bit of an idea, but I never played any of the Kingdom Hearts stuff. I would personally only change the cutie mark, personally. just to, or I would either change the cutie mark or I would add a color from the cutie mark somewhere else in his design. Is all I would do. But really cute art, really cute character, very solid silhouette. Right, I remember what this commenter said about this character. Apparently these markings at the back are meant to be like stretch marks. I love that. Can we please stop making stretch marks an ugly thing? This is such a lovely character. I'm sorry. She's quite busy, but she's not too busy. I'm quite a big fan of when people do this sort of soft nose sort of looking thing. It does sometimes make characters look a little bit too much like a cow rather than a pony, but I actually kind of love this for her. It's like when you get like lighter colored horses in real life, usually their noses are pink. And we get this color returning a little bit in the hooves, just a bit brighter. And again, a very similar, a different pink, but a similar hue pink in the ears. And I have no notes. This character is pretty. It's really nice. I have no notes. I really love the markings. I love that they're based on stretch marks, especially around the thighs. Us women will know thigh stretch marks unavoidable. Yeah, I love the heart and the forehead. I'm a big fan of like sorry, of ponies with like the sort of like what you would call in horse world the bald marking. I'm a big fan of it, and I love that we've got like the hearts and the freckles. Oh, she's just so cute. She's lovely. 10 out of 10. I know I said I wasn't going to rate them out of numbers, but 10 out of 10. I'm sorry, I have to. I literally have so I'm not even staying too long because I have nothing to say that would be constructive. I'm even kind of glad that she doesn't have a cutie mark because I can see these nice markings at the back. This one very much appeals to my personal taste in characters. The leg markings do slay. Now, I love this one. Now, again, I'm a big fan of different coloured scaleras, and I love it when on... You see it very slightly in rarity, actually, in the show. It does change from, like, character to character, but you do see in rarity there's, like, different things. I can tell this is a military pony. I'm not quite sure of which army. I'm not familiar enough with military history to identify what this uniform is based on. But yeah, the different rare. Actually, yeah, you're right. Shining armor does have it as well. The hue shift on the scalera to make it pop out from the eye. I love this character. Again, I have no notes. The purple, with so much monotone, the purple does a great job of grabbing us back to the face. Yeah. The sharp angles as well sort of suggest this is more of an antagonist character. Again, looks like it could be straight out of a villain from a show. She looks like sort of the closest character I can describe to it is Loot from Has-Been Hotel vibes. She looks like the evil lieutenant that gets an upgrade. And who's actually a bit more cool than her boss. Now, this character, very charming actually. When you take into account that this character, I think, is very based on Looney Tunes-esque and cartoon, early cartoon tropes. For instance, this little comic here. I personally, I'm not a huge fan of how the Draconicus and Discord is designed in the show with the mismatched limbs. Because as they sort of deliberately break the rules of character design to be what they are. but I still kind of like them, you know? So they're really, really hard to talk about from a character design angle. So, but I love that we've got this little snippet, the dwarf Draconicus. I know we weren't going to talk about lore, but the dwarf Draconicus idea is pretty cool. Um, Same kind of magic as the normal Draconicus that we know today, but they aren't nearly as strong, and they can also lag. It's like one typical case, they can't fly, instead they can float, but will fall to the ground as soon as you look down, which is what's shown here. That's really charming. I'm sorry. I could see this being like Discord's irritating little brother that he doesn't want anyone to know about, who's like really happy-go-lucky and charming in that. Um, but yeah, I'm getting very much Winnie the Pooh Looney Tune vibes from this character, which is really cute. Um, yeah, I could see like Pinky and being best friends with this guy. This was the best full body picture I could grab with this design, so I just grabbed this one. I love engineering themed ponies. Um, I loved the G5 concept art of Twilight Sparkle having mechanical wings, which was really cool. So I am quite smitten with characters that have mechanical wings. Welcome in, Ruse. Welcome in. I hope I'm saying that right. Good morning to you too. Again, I don't really have any notes on this character. I think the only thing I can say that I can see is the blue of the eyes is the exact same as the blue of the coat. I'd maybe change that to a gold or a third colour. I'm not really counting the brown as a third colour, because this is something she can take on and off. Um, I'd I'd maybe like to see a third colour introduced to this palette. I can see in the main that there's maybe some darker orange going on here. It's a little bit lost in the rendering, but there's some orange going through it. So either maybe orange on the eyes would be great, just to make them pop a little bit more. But again, really cute design concept, and that's really the only note I can pick from it. No, I loved it. This is so charming. I think this is the first time I've seen a reference done in pixel art. And I love it. This is so cute. Is this the day of great judgment? I hope not. I'm trying to I am trying to give constructive reviews rather than just going, yes, brilliant, yes, brilliant, yes, brilliant. You know? Because I feel like it's not worth anyone's while to watch it if I just keep going and telling everything is great and I wouldn't change anything. But again, this is I am not a professional. I've drawn OCEs as my way of living for a very long time, and this is just based on my own experience of what works and what doesn't, especially with my own style. But a lot of people are just wanting to have fun, you know, and there is no harm in just having fun with a character you vibe with. Not everything has to be designed as if it's coming out of a TV show or anything like that. But this character does look like it could come out of a TV show, and I love it. I want a pixel art reference now. I'm tossing them all in the bin. Yeah. They're all stinky. Your OCs are not stinky because they don't belong to me, so they smell. They go in bin now. But yeah, this is really cute. I think what this person said about this, we'll see if I remember correctly, is this is a reformed changeling, but when they reformed, they retained the colours of an unreformed changeling, and so they weren't shunned. Usually takes on the form of this earth pony. And I love it, you know, I love that. That's a really cool, note for the story. I mean, it's very difficult because it's pixel art to pick this design apart too much, but I'm very fond of what I see here. I don't really have any notes. I quite like the reformed changeling design. I'm not the huge fan of what the reformed changelings look like in the show. I don't hate them. I quite like how they look like, but I think this is a nice balance actually. I just really like this character. This is cool. So now we have this OC. And I'm going to take a sippy. And let me look. Let me look. I need to look at this one. There's a lot going on here. So I can very much tell that this is very geared towards the tastes of one specific person. This is very much an OC's OC, if that makes sense. This is a character that you can tell has a lot of personal touches related to their owner, I'd say, with the very specific headphone design going on and the hat design. I can tell that there's some specifics going here that are tied to real life. I'd say, what would I say about this character? So this, I think this is supposed to be another dragon pony. I'm not quite sure what's going on with the tail here. I can see almost like a transparent overtail with a cat-like tail underneath. With a dragon point on it. I'd say if this is another dragon, if I was to label this character as a dragon pony, what I would like to maybe see different is perhaps a more elongated body. Maybe slightly shorter toes. To sort of meld hoof and claw together. I'd also maybe like to see this gold repeated somewhere. That we're seeing quite a lot of blue and gold. I think I would like to see these warmer colours echoed in the eye. The grey does tie in with the grey-black wings, but it's kind of, I'm looking at his feet, you know? Rather than his face, I want to be looking at his face. You kind of, if you're wanting from a character design perspective, you're wanting to sort of draw people to look at the expression, where the story is being sort of told through facial expression and words and stuff like that. Yeah. That sort of thing. I'm looking at the eyes here. I see his eyes change. The sort of black hole eyes are kind of cool. But yeah, I would tweak this a little bit with colors. I'd like to balance this more out. We've got a few colors that the green ties in together nicely, so I would maybe change just the eyes, I think, and I would maybe elongate the body. Yeah. But I think that's it. I like that he's got fangs. He has his dragon teeth. I think perhaps the wings matching the body or being a similar red scale to his dragon-esque bits flowing through here would be quite nice too. I agree. Now, this character had a few images submitted. I chose to use this one because it was the more pony quadruped form. I loved it. I'm sorry. Let us gaze upon this expression while I take a sippy. Let us gaze. I'm not quite sure she's gazing back, but you know, let us gaze. I think she's more staring at either side of us than gazing back. This is a really cute design. Another alicorn. I love the star marking on the forehead. I love the two color different eyes. I like that the yellow of the bell is tying in with the yellow bells down here. There's a lot of green and blue, so I actually quite appreciate that the eyes are heterochromatic and there's a pink in there to break up all this green and blue, so that we are drawn back to the back to the face. And I'm a big fan of curved horns as well. I remember when the equestrian pillar episodes came out, and we finally got to see ponies based on Asian culture and Eastern culture with curved horns. I think, do you know that one guy from I don't even know what program it is. It's the police chief that shouts "Vindication." That was me upon seeing that curved horns were canon in normal ponies. So yeah, I don't have any notes. Look at her, she's so cute. Ugh. I really wish I was good at drawing goofy expressions because I'd be doing this all day, bro. I mean, props, man. Props. Very cute. We have another pony with green in it as well, this is a good day. Lots of green. God, Flutters. I mean, let's go back. Flutters, well done. Well done, bro. I'm loving this. Curved horns are awesome. Going on to this pony. First of all, that cutie mark is so beautifully done. Wow. Ties in with the show style with being lineless and all. A little bit on the busy side, but still looks like it just came fresh out of the show. It's really lovely. I love it. Also, she's married. How cute! Or she's got like the thing on in that one episode where they can't use magic, but cute. What would I say about this pony? This design is really well done. What I would say is this white is a little bit desaturated, so you're at the very borderline risk of this appearing a little bit muddy. I'd turn this into a more solid white than the sort of off green grey white. And I would turn these purple socks have sort of there's no other purple in the design, and because they're quite far back, they're quite removed from where we want to be focusing, which is like the face. The way to fix this, I think, would either to make her eyes purple, the same purple as these socks, or to make the socks the brown of the paw cookie. I think. She's really cute though. I love the hairstyle. She's kind of got what I'm wearing right now. Actually, I have a bob that I've pulled back into a tiny little bobby miniature bun at the back of my head. Yeah, but I would just change the white a smidge, and I'd probably make it the same white that you're seeing here in the cutie mark on the wrapper of the pipe, the icing piper. But yeah, that is my only note really. She's so pretty. Bring her to me. Let us gaze upon the beautiful art style. Let us take a minute to appreciate the beautiful art style. Look at the teeny tiny wings. Teeny tiny wing. Teeny tiny wing. So cute. I love this character. I love the markings. They're so very horse-like. Real life horsey-like. Very splodgy, very lovely, very beautiful. Again, no notes actually. I think the only note I could possibly have is because she's got quite a few splodgy markings going on. This cutie mark star fading out gets a little bit lost in the sauce. That's it, my guy. That's all I can say about this one. I love the little plasters. I'm getting that she's quite clumsy. She's a cutie pie. Overall markings are, yeah, I agree. I was forgetting their name for a second there. Thank you for reminding me. Fantastique. Beautiful. I think the only thing I would change is again the green little star. I'd maybe get rid of these little drawn. These might just be art style preference, so I'm not quite sure. I'd maybe get rid of the little drawn stars because we've got quite a busy markings already. And I'm kind of looking at these instead of our beautiful face. But yeah. I would make the cutie mark. I would maybe even change the green to the pink that we've got down here, maybe, just so it's not quite so lost in the markings. But it's gorgeous. The sugar cube's been very well rendered, by the way. This was very witchy. I'm a big fan of witchy. I'm a big fan of characters that look like they just crawled out of the forest and offered me some rocks. For no other reason than just rocks. I love the sort of the bird skull with the feathers. We've got the same feather in the earring. When are the next stream? I'm very excited. When are the next streams going to be? I don't want to miss any of them. I don't have a time yet, but if you were to join my Discord server, I would be pinging and announcing, and you'd get a notification for when they'd be. On Twitter, I'd also be posting as well, but you wouldn't really get a notification for when I post on Twitter about them. I promise I will announce them. I won't just go into them though. I'll give people time to know when they are. I love the mossy green hair. If that isn't a druid, I'll eat my pillow. Ooh, agree. She could be a druid. That'd be really cool. I love how I'm going to guess this is a cutie mark here. See this swirliness? It looks like a tree stump. I love it. Yeah, gremlin witch. I love it too. I think my only note is, see this blue eye? This blue eye isn't doing really anything else in the rest of the design. There's no really blue. Make it red. Make it red, I beg you, please. Make it red. Or make the eyes yellow. I always associate yellow eyes with more beastie type creatures. But I love it. Also really cute art, by the way. I'm a big softie for lineless styles. But yes, I would only change the eyes here. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous design. Bring it to me. Feeds my soul. The next design is another changeling. This is making me miss my changeling OC I sold. I've had quite a hard financial year. I sold one of my changeling designs, and you know, I sometimes regret it. Because she was cool. If you ever saw a white changeling with red wings going around stealing chili peppers on Ponytown, that was me. I made a giant chili pepper pile in like the meadows in Ponytown. I was pretending to be a very chili pepper orientated changeling. Anyway, not the point. This design's really pretty. I'm going to guess from like the fact that she's not bald that this might be a princess changeling. I like that we've got some carapace elements and some spikiness going on and the big fangs. She's very pointy. Graceful but pointy. What would I change? I'd actually change the blue of this carapace here. I think I would actually make it black like the rest of it. Is what I would do. Have you thought of trying to buy them back? Yeah, but I forgot who I sold them to. I really don't have good memory. I helped design this character. It's gorgeous. Beautiful, beautiful, beautifully done. I love the pointies. The pointies give me ideas. You know, that's pretty cool actually. I never thought of giving them some bug pointies. But yeah, I think the only thing I would do is I would change the purplish hue of this carapace to something more in line with the rest of the palette, either a brownish colour or perhaps like the same sort of hue of the wing. When I say hue, I don't mean the same colour exactly, I mean from the same colour spectrum. So when you like turn, if you were to like colour pick this colour, you would, anywhere on that wheel, that would turn up. You got to document your sales. I know, it's my worst quality. I don't think I've ever documented any of my sales, since that's why I really sell things in Ko-Fi now, because it does it for me. Yeah. Swift Lightning. Another Ponytown OC. This gives me macaw vibes. Green macaw. Actually, when I saw this character, it was also with pictures of trains, which I think was another OC. So I'm not sure if this character was has something to do with the train colors. I don't know. I'm getting very much green macaw vibes from it though, or sorry, not green macaw, scarlet macaw vibes. But yeah. I'm trying to think of what I can say. There's a lot of colors going on here. This one's it's quite hard to judge. It's very hard to judge because it's a Ponytown sprite, and busy characters on Ponytown sprites are always a bit like, whoa. But the idea of a Scarlet Macaw sort of alicorn type thing is quite interesting. Don't forget to drink some water. Thank you. Thank you. I sippy. Thank you. There we go. Oh, we're not far from the end now, folks. Now, this character I know. This belongs to eStories, who has a long-standing comic on DeviantArt that's been going on since very early days in the fandom, I'd say. They have an OC called Silverley, which is consistently reposted on sites like Patreon and that, who are like, oh my gosh, where is she from? eStories draws almost exclusively in an identical style to the show, so their art is very difficult to take out from official content. And I've seen them draw, and I know that they make all this from scratch on vectors, and after I tried to learn vector art, round of applause, because I could never. And I think this character is called Wildheart. And the only thing I would change with Wildheart, and I think eStories knows this because I've said it before, I would get rid of the very large Christmas bauble. I think. Or turn it into a different style necklace. I think that's the only thing I would change. Or I would maybe change the eye color to be the same pink, maybe. I'm not quite sure because I quite like the Wildheart, like the wild of the big like bright eyes, you know. But yeah, that's the only thing I would change. Or add pink fluffy hooves. You know, I'm a sucker for pink fluffy hooves. I love the little bandage on the snout. Very cute. And the cutie mark is also like fits in really nicely. But yeah, I think that's the only thing I would change. Now, this character I think is from what oh my gosh, I cannot speak. From the comment she was posted with, I think she may be an AU Cadence, perhaps. Very intriguing, or perhaps a Cadence next gen. I am a big fan of the colours. I think the only thing I would change here is this pink is very, very saturated compared to the rest of the body colour. I would maybe make that a little bit lighter. The cutie mark gorgeous. I think I would make the hair ties a different colour. They're almost the exact same colour as the yellow in the main. I would maybe make it so that they're a different colour, perhaps the same one of the blues that you've got going on in the cutie mark. I think that might be a bandage or a scar on her nose. So very intriguing character. I love the diva vibe she has going on. I think I missed out my OC. Will there be a way to rewatch your stream? There will be. There were so many OCs submitted. There's like over 250 of them that I've got to review. So we're actually, instead of doing one stream, we're going to have to do 4 because I couldn't actually fit them all into one stream. Or even 2 streams, or even 3 streams. But yeah, if she's either and I'm sick. I have a cold that I'm nursing. It's turning into the sore throat and tonsillitis, so I'm sitting here sounding like I've eaten gravel for like 3 days. But yeah, I love this character. Diva vibes. Diva. I would just change quite how bright and saturated this pink is. And I would change the little hair tie colors. Right, look at the art style. Behold, because I love it. It's so cute. I don't know who drew it. Becca? From this thing? Becca, well done. I don't know if I'm saying that nice, but your style's so cute. Please give me more of your art, please. This is cute. I'm quite partial to desaturated colors as well. I mean, I know I talk about mixing desaturated with saturated can be a bit weird. That doesn't mean I don't like desaturated colors. That just means that sometimes mixing them isn't always the best idea. Has to be done quite carefully. And I am also a big fan of mismatched mane and tails. It's actually quite a fun, quirky thing to do. I'm quite a big fan. This is purely personal taste. Some people would argue that it breaks up the silhouette, but I quite like it. It sometimes breaks up simple characters that are a little bit samey, and like this character is very simple. Like, well, simple in design aspects anyway, and palette. So I would say that the mismatched tail is really cute. The mismatched tail also ties in with the QA mark. We've got the spool of thread is the same color as the mane up here, and the bow is the same color as the tail back here. And we've got a nice middle ground with the hooves here, which are sort of in between. The art style allows only for, I think, for black pupils, so I don't know what color her irises are, but I don't really think it matters because this is just too pretty and I love it and really, really nice. Yeah, I love it. I'm a big fan of like monotoned characters, so very pretty. I'd love to draw this character sometime. Very cute. And the last one of the bunch is this girly pop. Definitely give me the vibes of if Pinky and Twilight fused. Very cute. I think the only thing I would change in this design is I would maybe make... Oh, I don't know. I want to make the music note a dark green to tie in with this eye color. But I think what would actually be better, and I don't normally say this, add a rainbow to the cutie mark that's the same color as her hair, and we are absolutely perfecto. Just a small one fading off into the distance behind it. Like a little half rainbow. It would be beautiful. But she's so cute. The hair has been really well done, actually. She looks like someone I would see in a Miniso store. Really cute. And that's us for today. Look at all the characters we've done today. I'm really hoping this was somewhat constructive. I really need to get back in the flow with this sort of things. Not the end. No, I'm so sorry. I don't think my computer memory could take a larger recording at the minute either. But yeah. We'll end it here for the YouTube folks. We'll turn off the record now because woofed.